I got my helper. That's my helper. So I want to talk about Arch. This, there's a few people out there not going to be happy about this, but I still see I use Arch, by the way. I figured that would go away in time, but not really. And it's kind of odd because I use Arch, by the way, has kind of lost its pizzazz. It's kind of lost its meaning because at one time Arch was kind of hard to install. I've used Linux since 1998. I didn't want to mess with it, and I know I could install it at the day, back in the day, but just to me it wasn't worth it. And now they have an installer built into the ISO that you download. So I use Arch, by the way, has kind of gone away. If you want to be a braggart about installing a hard to install Linux, now you're looking at Gentoo or Linux from scratch. Because Arch is easy to install now. All you do is fire up the ISO and you type Arch install. What's hard about that? And it walks you through step by step on installing your system, just like any other distro out there. The only difference is that the other distros have a graphical user interface installer, whereas Arch has a not graphical user interface. So Arch install. And then now we're going to be walked through step by step. Language, English, okay. Mirrors. I don't need custom mirror. We'll go mirror region. And I think we can pick, okay, / to search. And we will type U for United States. Tab to select. See, it tells you what to do step by step. Define, locales, English, looks good. Bootloader grub, let's say disk information. Use a best effort default partition layout. It's even gonna do the partitioning for you. There's nothing hard about this. Disk encryption, no. Okay. Bootloader grub. Never heard of Limine. Never heard of it. Interesting. Host name, Arch Linux. Now, this is in OpenSUSE. This is where you click on host name and you change your host name away from localhost. So I'm just gonna set it to Arch. Root password. User account, add a user, me, password, yes, confirm and exit, profile, type, desktop, of course we're going to select KDE, of course, graphics driver, yeah, Greeter, yeah, okay. Kernels, Linux, additional packages, not needed. Network configuration. It's wired. Time zone. We'll select that. Forward to search. Eastern. US Eastern. It didn't change. Let's try it again. Search. Eastern. Enter. Okay. Automatic time. Sure. Optional repositories. Save configuration or install. Just install. Enter to continue. Formatting 54321. There's nothing hard about this. It's not. If you're going to compare it to a Windows install or compare it to, the easiest installers out there, it's this much harder. That's it. There is the air of superiority with by the way I use Arch, is gone. It's just not there. So that air of superiority has gone away. You might as well say, I use Ubuntu, by the way. It's pretty much the same effect now. And don't get me wrong, I am not saying Arch is a bad distro. No, not by any means. Arch is still a good distro. It's not my preferred distro, but I do like it. But at this point, I think there's better ones out there. And it also depends on what you want to do with your Linux system. And depending on your use case scenario, Arch might be a perfect match for you. And if it is, by all means, you should be using Arch. But that air of superiority of Arch was hard for me to install, therefore I use Arch, by the way, it's just gone. It's not hard. I use OpenSUSE Tumbleweed, by the way.